Welcome to the class of Ethnos friends. Jai Hind. And we received requests from many of our students who are not very comfortable with Hindi to repeat our lecture in English regarding how to make notes from the newspaper and why is it important to make notes from the newspaper. Previously, as per your request, we also made the English version of our previous video on the source of questions from which UPSC and other competitive exams ask the questions, right? So, as if you have seen our previous video, you would have noticed that the source from where the questions are asked are nothing but the newspapers and the NCERT textbook. So, NCERT textbook is a very static part. You have to read from class 6 to class 12, specific chapters, specific subjects only, not all subjects. Okay, that list you can find on our website www.ethnos.com, and you can also join our mentoring programs, which are one of the best in the country and one of the most affordable in the country for even the poorest of the poor to join and clear the exams. Okay, now coming to the point. How to read the newspaper and what is the importance of reading the newspaper. See, the purpose of making that previous video, was that we received various messages, mails and calls from students asking various doubts, various a list of doubts. So what we did was we compiled all the doubts and we made that video in Hindi so that all the doubts can be cleared in one go itself. So as per your request, we are making the same video in English. So we will go by the doubts one by one as we have done previously. Okay. So the first question is, why is it important to make notes? Can't I study from notes of coaching centers? Can't I study from toppers' notes? Can I study from here? Can I study from there? Blah blah blah. Lot of rubbish. So number one and most important point. You have to make your own notes, period. Finish, that's it. Discussion over. You can study from coaching center notes or from notes of the toppers or anybody. But if you want to clear the exam, you will have to ultimately study from your own notes. You can use these material, these literature as a reference point, as an additional reading item, but not as a primary source. The primary source should be yours. And why is it? We will discuss at the end of the video. If you want to know the reason why it is so important that you only make your own notes, you please watch till the end. Because right now this is not the point where we tell this, and unless we give you the background information, we won't be able to give you the answer. Okay. So, and one more thing you have to remember is that one statement which I made in my previous video. Topper makes their notes. Notes don't make the topper. Okay. So, again I am repeating, topper makes their notes don't make the topper. Think about this question in the night. Think about the statement, not the question. Think about the statement. What is the meaning and implication of the statement? Okay. So now, coming to the point, how to make notes. Fine. See, how to make notes. First of all, what you have to remember is that you are not doing PhD in any subject. You are preparing for a generalist position job. Generalist job means today you will be in animal husbandry department. Tomorrow you may be transferred to finance department. Or day after tomorrow you might be posted in the science and technology department. So you are not a specialist. You are preparing for a generalist job. And as generalist, what is required from you is that you should have basic overview, general knowledge, general overview and fundamental knowledge of everything. That is, your body of knowledge has to be vast. It need not be deep. If you have to study anything deep, do PhD in that subject and become a professor. Don't go for civil services or any sort of public services jobs. Because these are all generalist jobs where you just have to have basic knowledge, basic info about things so that you can make a calculated decision. And for making calculated decision, you have got specialists in various departments. Those specialists will give you the reports. For just understanding that report, you need to have a fundamental understanding of various concepts, lot of concepts. So that is the reason why the UPSC and bank and the SSC and all, they check your breadth of knowledge, not the depth of knowledge. So the depth of knowledge is for only a very limited subjects, very limited items. You need to study a little bit deep, not very deep. Okay, otherwise your breadth of knowledge is what matters. So please always remember, you are not doing PhD in any subject. You are just preparing for a normal competitive exam, and don't make it look like it's a huge task. It's a very simple task which you can do. Okay, how to make notes again? Good notes. Okay. See, let me just give you an example of which I had given in my previous which I had given in my previous video also. See, I will give you the example of Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin would come in the exam. Most probably, it is a very hot topic for the exam. It will come. Now, suppose if you are preparing notes for Bitcoin. So there is a lot of material in the internet. There are books written on Bitcoin. There are a lot of articles in the internet, in the newspapers. Are you supposed to waste your time reading all those things, entire things? No. What is important is you must know, you must learn the art of picking up important points. Very important points only you need to pick up. Okay. So here, what is it that you need to know about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a digital currency. Right? Second, Bitcoin was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto. Right? Third, total Bitcoins are nearly 21 billion, out of which 16 billion has been obtained. The process of finding Bitcoins is called mining, and the technology behind Bitcoin is known as blockchain technology. That's it. This is what is all required for any competitive exam. This is the data on which you can more or less answer any question which would be asked in the competitive exam. Very rarely, it may be asked that anything would come beyond this. Because this is the data which any layman needs to know. Now this is what we call the content part. Content, that is the facts and figures. If you want to know what is content in context, please watch our previous video. Okay, content is the facts and figures. These are all facts and figures. Right. Now what is the context? If you look at the context, context is the background information. Background information, logic, rationale, the reason behind why this is so and all. Okay. Now the context is, it has been made illegal by various countries, including India. Why? Why is it made illegal? It would be asked. Why it is made illegal is that it is not backed by any security. That's it. This is a simple word you have to write. Backed by security. See, when you have a 100 rupee note with you, that 100 rupee note has the signature and the promise of the governor of RBI stating that the government will compensate you for rupees 100 if you provide this note to the government. So there is a security by the government of country behind this currency which is there in your pockets. But this currency, this digital currency is not backed by any security, and plus it is digital. There are people who say that the amount of Bitcoin will remain constant at 21 billion. But what if it increases? What if it decreases? What if somebody makes it illegally? The blockchain technology is a new technology. Nobody knows about it much. So whether it can be used, misused, good use, bad use, nobody knows. So when somebody doesn't know, it is better to be cautious about it. So that is the reason why many countries have made it illegal. But the primary reason is this. So if any question comes, you just have for answering any question, whether it is MCQ types, whether it is mains subjective type, or any question in your interview, you just have to use these keywords. When these keywords are there, your answer becomes complete and there is no possible way that you will not score the required marks in the exam if you use proper keywords. Suppose if in the UPSC paper they ask you to write a short note on the Bitcoin, you just have to combine all these keywords and write a short note of 200 to 300 words and you will get full marks for it. Or else they will ask in prelims, in an MCQ type format, what is the technology behind Bitcoin? What is the technology behind Bitcoin? What is the process of finding a Bitcoin called? It is called mining. Okay, so like this, what I am trying to focus is what all things you need to absorb from your newspaper. So this is how you need to make a note. The entire data on Bitcoin in newspapers, books and all, I have concisely clubbed into one single page. And this is it. And this is what is important for the exam. This is an art which you will learn when you practice it for 15 to 20 days. 15 to 20 days if you follow newspaper regularly and you make notes from it regularly, you will master this art. And once you master this art, you don't need anybody's help to clear any exam and nobody in this world can stop you from clearing the exam. Next question asked by a student is, what kind of notes should we make? Should it be handwritten or should it be digital typed notes or what? It's a good question. See, we will coin a new term for you, hand digi notes. Hand digi notes. See, this is a combination of handwritten notes and digital notes. Why is it so? That I will tell you. In our previous videos, in our previous lecture, we had told you how to, regarding the strategy of UPSC exam, we had told you that when you make a notebook, between two chapters you must leave 4 to 5 pages blank, so that whenever any new data comes, you can insert that new data inside and you can find all the data of a particular topic at one place. If you write one data in one book, another data in some other book, because data is very dynamic in the UPSC paper. Suppose today, few days back there was an issue regarding the National Register of Citizens in Assam. Now it is not coming in paper, but may be possible that after 2 months again that issue would start coming in papers. So now whatever has come in the newspaper, that you may have written in your notes, but after say 3-4 months, when again the news starts appearing, then the fresh data you need to incorporate where you had written earlier, so that the entire data is compiled and clubbed together at one place and you can easily study and learn, and most importantly revise. Okay, so that is the reason why we will try to do a little bit modification to what we told you. Rather than making a register for the current affairs book, take A4 sheets or loose sheets, okay, and use a file to place those sheets. Now what will happen is, when you use loose sheets, whenever new data comes, you can properly file it behind your previous notes on the same topic. And then you can use tags or stickers you can purchase from a market, and for every section you can stick a tag in your file so that you can easily find the section. Suppose if you want to find about Bitcoin, you can find a section on Bitcoin. Suppose you want to find about the National Register of Citizens, you can find the data easily over there. Okay, so all this is, it will considerably reduce your time as well as effort for the exam, and time saved is time earned in this exam. Okay. Now this is what we told about the handwritten part. What about the digital part? See, the newspaper you have to follow on a daily basis. Daily newspaper. This is the best part if you can follow daily. Okay, why? I will tell you again after some time. Give me 2 minutes. If you cannot follow daily, at least follow twice a week. Okay, that is every 3 days you have to follow. But then if you do this, what will happen is that you will have a lot of huge amount of work on just one day you will have to do. which is not advisable. It is better if you follow the newspaper on a daily basis. You will just have to invest 2 to 3 hours a day, and your work is finished for the day. You are through. If you club it for 2 to 3 days in a row, the load of work would increase considerably. Okay. Now, one interesting point I will tell you. People think that following the newspaper daily is a very boring task and all. But if you look at any successful civil servant, businessman or politician, they invariably have the habit of following the newspapers daily and making specific notes from it in their diary or in their book or any other matter, so that they can get the information readily, because information is power in this age. So in fact, some of the companies like Bloomberg Quint, they charge a very handsome amount for compiling this data from the various newspapers and giving it to people. And many politicians and many huge business tycoons are there who have a team of people whose only work is to scan the newspaper from morning 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and then give them a synopsis of the entire events from various newspapers across the world, so that they don't have to waste their time and they can just read the brief about it. So this is a habit which will take you very far. So please try to cultivate this habit of doing the making notes from the newspaper daily. Okay. Now, regarding the digital part. Once you make the newspaper notes daily, after every 15 or 30 days, you type or transfer your notes into Word file. That is the digital file. Why this is important? There are two reasons why this is important. One is when you transfer it, again you will be reading the notes and typing it, so it will be a very good form of revision and it will stay in your mind permanently. Number two, it will stay in a very neat manner with you, and you can take a printout, and at the time of revision, just 2 to 3 days before revision, just have to browse it and you are through for the exams. And number three, once the exam is over, you can sell the notes to somebody and get a handsome amount of money. Okay, that is an ancillary part. It will ask us why we need to make handwritten notes and then transfer it to digital. Why can't we directly type it in the Word? You can directly type it in the Word, no issues with that. But there is an old saying, our parents would be telling us that always write and learn. When you write, ultimately you don't have to type in the exam, you have to write in the exam. So when you write, your handwriting, your speed, your handwriting coordination, blah blah, everything increases. So writing is a very good habit. And when you write, you write slowly compared to when you type. Okay, you can type very fast, but you have to write. The speed of writing would be slow. When you slow down, your brain gets time so that the data is absorbed in your brain. And what is absorbed would be remaining permanently in your brain, and you would have to spend or invest very, very less time, even half or 1/4 of what you would be investing if you had just read the notes at the time of revision. At the time of revision, if you have written it and learned it, then your revision work is 50 to 60% down. And if you consider this time, people say that it is this exercise is a very time-consuming exercise. No, absolutely no. This exercise will take hardly 2 to 3 hours initially, and when you become expert, as I told, in 15-20 days of doing this, you will become an expert. When you become expert, you can do this in 1 to 2 hours max, 1 to 2 hours. And what will happen is that this 2 hours is pure study for you. Means this is pure preparation time for you. You don't have to, once you do this, you don't need any toppers notes, any coaching notes, nothing. You just have to refer this. Suppose if you compare, if you are reading some other coaching notes or the notes of topper, again you will have to invest 2 to 3 hours daily reading it. Anyhow, you will have to invest the time here or there. So better invest time in your own notes and make them so strong so that you can be so confident in your exam that yes, I have made this. When this question comes, yes, I have studied this, I have seen this, I have made it in my notes. One more point where the students get confused while making notes is about what to write and what not to write. As I told with the example of Bitcoin, see, you have to know, you have to learn the art of finding the keywords in any paragraph. And that is an art which you will learn over a period of time. When you do it 15-20 days, you will automatically understand what is a keyword and what is not. Keyword is something which is repeated in all the news reports across the newspapers. That is a keyword. So, so when you read and read and read, you will understand which is a keyword and which is not. Okay, so when you make a note, you please do not do the mistake of copying entire paragraph from the newspaper to your notes. It is a note, it is not a copy of the newspaper. Okay, they are your notes. So your notes should be as concise, as brief as possible. You should, suppose if the newspaper article is of say 100 words, your notes should not be more than 20 to 30 words. 30 is the max limit, what I am telling. It should not be more than 20 words. Within 20 words, you must finish concisely, you must write down what is it. Because the smaller your answer, the better it would be for you to remember. Because as I told, it is the breadth of knowledge which is checked, not the depth of knowledge. So please don't go for doing PhD in that subject. But at the same time, be curious about terms. When you listen to terms, when you see terms, just go and find out the definition and the meaning of that term. That's it. No need to go deep into what that, how that term started and what is going on deep inside it. Nothing. Just the definition and overview of the term. Okay. So here, let me give an example. Suppose you are studying about quotes. So when you read an article about quotes, your mind has to be curious and you must ask yourself the question that how many quotes are there in India? Okay. How many quotes are there in India and the world? Right? How many quotes, out of these quotes, how many are private? And how many are public, that is by the government? And which is the biggest quote? Which is the smallest quote? Okay. This we must remember. Are there any government schemes specific to quotes? Yes, there is a scheme called Sagarmala scheme. Okay. So all these, so if you find answer to discuss things, your topic of quotes is more or less prepared. Then let them ask anything. You can compile your answer from this. Okay. So like this, see, entire newspaper article I have concised into some few points. Now this, what I have concised, this may not be there given in the article as such, but this is what I have to be curious about. But again, I don't have to do PhD in that. I don't have to know how the code got constructed, who gave permission for the code, why was it necessary for that code to be there. It is none of my concern. Okay. So this, as I told again, it's an art. You will learn it slowly and steadily. You will learn. Okay, now I am coming to the point where I just spoke a little time back that why is it required that you make your own notes. Okay, why is it required? See, when you make the notes, suppose if I am making the notes of this code, I just made the note on codes. Now these are my notes. These are keywords which are present in my head. These are ideas which are present in my head. But your head and my head is different. I may not be able to think how you are thinking. You may not be able to think how I am thinking. We all are unique. Everybody's brain is like a unique lock which can be opened by a unique key only. So and that key is your notes. So if you try to put my key into your lock is not going to open. Either the lock may break or the key may break or both may break. So you may not be able to get that level of success if you use my notes.